Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and on this episode we are going to be taking a look at the one, the only Raging Cajun Gambit from X-Men. Now this is the new Gambit that has just been released by Hasbro. That used to be the old Toy Biz Gambit, so this is a new, I can't even think right now, blah 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 blah. This is the new version. Thank you so much for thinking of what I need to say. The new version of Gambit. I apologize for that, everyone. So this version of Gambit, I really like. The old Toy Biz one was kind of goofy looking, kind of weird, but this guy here, I have to say, he is really cool. He comes with a few accessories. He comes with 2 sets of hands. He comes with 2 gripping hands. He comes with the one that he has on there now, holding the card up with his kinetic energy coming off of it, and then he has one where he's throwing the kinetic cards out, which we'll get into all that here in a second. So before we get into actually looking at everything and doing some things, I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and everybody had a safe holiday and that everybody is well. With that being said, let's get back to this. So there are only a few things that I have with this guy that I didn't really care for at first. Was kind of the waist articulation, but which is fine, and his ab crunch. You know, if you had a little bit of an abdomen swivel going on, it might have helped out a little bit better to get him in some poses. But I was able to get him in some pretty cool poses, which you can see at the end. Maybe I'll try to pose him while I'm doing this review, so that way you guys can see on how well you can actually get him into a couple poses. The overcoat. His overcoat, it doesn't really get into his trench coat, I should say. It doesn't really get in the way. It's a soft plastic. It's not really kind of, whatever. And then his staff. His staff is fine. It didn't come bent or anything like that. Neither did any of the other accessories. So as I ramble on about a bunch of nonsense, how about we get into taking a look at this guy? Everybody want to take a look at this guy? Anybody? Somebody? Anybody? Yep. All right. Let's do it. All right. So here we have Gambit. And as you can see, I just want to go over the paint sculpt, and then we'll go over his accessories. Look at that face sculpt. I mean, that is the one and only Gambit. That is very nicely done. I love the wash that they did in his hair for the highlights. That's great. His ears aren't massively huge on the side of his outfit, sticking out, which I've seen in some other reviews on other Gambits. And then, this is just a glossy plastic. And like I said, the overcoat is it's a soft plastic. I like the way they did the overcoat. They gave it that leathery wash to it. Coming down to his gloves on his hands. Yes, it's not bad. There's a little bit of a mess there, but hey, nothing that's going to break the bank. You know what I mean? And then you have his other hand right here where he is actually holding the card. Oh, his staff fell out of his hand. So there's the back. As you can see, the leatheriness to his trench coat, which is wonderful. And then his boots and his pants. You have the stripes, of course. And then you have a peg. Now, a little bit of paint gone right there, but there it is right there on the trench coat itself. But that's all right. That's just where the coat lays. You don't see it anyway. This is kind of a softer purple that's on him. And then you have, coming down the pants here. And then you go to his boots, and that's not too bad either. So let's go with his little kinetic card. Now, with this guy here, he comes with this really cool kinetic energy coming off, kind of like the way Cyclops has coming out of his optic blast visor. So you have the energy coming off the card. And then it is an ace of spades, which is pretty cool. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then there's the back. So that's pretty cool. I like the way they did that. Then you have his staff, which, of course, we've all seen in the 90s cartoon him have this staff and him wield it. So it's just gray plastic with some notches in it that go down, probably because it collapses, then it extends. Then you have another hand And as you can see, it's just like the one that's on his right hand, well, which would be my left, this hand right here. So that's pretty cool. And then one of my favorites is the kinetic energy hand. Now, why they didn't make the kinetic energy coming from behind the fingers, considering that's where he would hold it and throw, is beyond me. And then you have the swishing from where he's throwing it. So, you know, it's going this way and the energy keeps moving this way. So he's throwing the cards like that in front of him. So that's pretty cool. Pretty wild. Get that little effect of him throwing out those kinetic cards. And nicely done. So you have a heart, a club, and a diamond that he's throwing out. Pretty cool. Now, here's the other hand where he's giving the peace sign or telling you to jog on, whichever one. All right, this is the one that holds a kinetic card in his hand where he's looking all cool and suave. You've seen many of those poses with him doing that. So, let's... Yeah. All right, so popping in just his regular hand right here. And this guy, he is stiff, but there he is with his other hands, as you can see. My camera seems kind of high, doesn't it? But then again, I did have him back. Right, so let's just lower this just a wee bit. A little better. Oops, sorry for the shakiness. All right, so there you go. So here he is, and let's just take a quick look at this guy, and then I'll, you know, get into doing some of the other stuff with him. All right, so let's go from head to toe. So looking at his head, we already went over the sculpting and everything, which they did a really cool sculpt. And yes, I love the way they did the red eyes with the black dots in it. Really cool. So side profile, let's take a look. Can he look up? He can look up about that far, which is actually pretty good. And then he can look down about that far, which is really good. His head can turn side to side. His arms, they can go out to a 90 degrees. They go all the way around. He has only a single jointed elbow, which brings it almost to a 90, but still good. Then he has his wrist swivel and then his wrist bend, which they bend side to side, not up and down. All right, then of course you have his trench coat, and then he has his ab crunch. He only ab crunches that far, and if you move his coat out of the way, you can only get him to go back that far. So you're really not going to get any matrix poses out of him. He does have a waist swivel. He can do the splits about that far out. His leg can move forward that much, and of course you have the jacket, but yet you can still get him to kick back that far. His leg, once again, moves out only that far. Then he has an upper thigh swivel. He does have double jointed knees, which are not able to kick his own ass, but he can get his leg pretty close, as you can see. As far as he has himself a upper boot swivel, which is really good because that helps get him into some poses, regardless if you have to break this a little bit and it takes away of some of the sculpting, it doesn't matter. You can still get him into those poses that do matter. So his foot tilts up about that far. You know, if you had a foot hinge here, if you had a toe hinge, I should say, he could do a ball of foot, so it would be a proper kick. He can point his toe down, which is actually quite nice. So if you're doing a side kick to someone's head, you can get that far with it and it would look really good. Then he also has himself an ankle rocker, which goes pretty far. So if you were doing a knife edge for a kick, you'd have to set his foot just like that. So that's a proper knife's edge right there to give somebody a good old walloping kick. All right, so that's it for the articulation. So let's take a look at his kinetic card throwing hand, shall we? So just take it. Get on there. Get on there. It don't want to go on. Oh, that one one's stubborn. Why? I haven't even tried this one yet, and it's giving me this hard time. Oh, you gotta be careful that peg don't break. Wow. I don't know why. Wow. That's ridiculous. There it goes. I think I'm maybe at a little bit of an angle. Anyway, sorry about that. So, you put his arm on, his hand on there, and you can have him throwing his cards out just like that. So let's see if I can get him into a little bit of a cool pose. I haven't tried this yet with this hand where he's throwing these cards, but let's see. Let's take a staff. We'll put it in his hand. I know I'm kind of all over the place, so I apologize. So let's get this in here. Come on now. Slide it in because it's just loosely held. So, all right, let's bring his hand down. Let's bring it in. All right, so, come on. There he goes. Now he's holding the staff. Let's see if we can get him to do something here. Like I said, if you want to pose him, you're gonna have to break that that look on his legs to get him to actually do a proper pose. Hold on, almost got him there. Come on now. Come on, cooperate. Let's get these legs bent a little bit. That's the other thing too, the ankle articulation. You can take advantage of it. Get that pivot just right. I'll fix this staff in a second. Come on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Almost got it. There you go. There he is. And look, I mean, it's just a quick little pose to show you. And I'm going to take some photos. And you guys can see those at the end too. But there he is with his kinetic cards. Now you can have them going that way. You can have them going this way. If you really wanted to, you could actually have it to where he's... I guess that really wouldn't make sense now, would it? But his cards are already thrown out there. And there you go. Here's a little quick little pose for you. I'll get him doing some other stuff. But anyways, that's just a quick look at Gambit and what he can actually do. But yes, you can actually, this is one figure that I've always been a favorite of Gambit. He's always been one of my favorite characters in the X-Men. So, with that being said, let's get this guy done and let you guys go. I am going to take some photos and let you guys see what he looks like getting all posed out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit of a rambling and kind of all over the place, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and I will catch you all on the flippity flip.